We are so pleased to have Coach Oystrick joining us now from his home in Colorado. And Coach, first of all, congratulations. I just want to ask you, how did this all come together? Did you apply for this? Did someone reach out to you? And why did you feel like this really was a good fit for you?
Well, first of all, thank you very much. I had a friend, or a couple friends in the hockey world suggested I put in a resume, which obviously I did. About a week and a half ago, Kevin Geringer called me and asked if I would be willing to come in for an interview. So I did that. The following Friday, flew into Saskatoon, did the interview, and was offered the job. So obviously it's an exciting time, but one of the main reasons I wanted this job was not only to help build a community and help build the hockey team back, but just my passion for the game and my passion for helping people. And, I look back at the coaches that influenced my life, and hopefully in, 15, 20 years, I'll have players saying I did the same for them.
Nathan, as you mentioned, this is much more than being a hockey coach. This is about rebuilding a community. What are the main factors when you go in there to get that team turned around and build that community? I heard you're big on relationships. How do you develop those relationships and build that community back up?
For me, it's all about communication, first and foremost, making sure I'm getting to know people in the community and building that trust and bond, so we all get along and we're all on the same page. So for hockey, it's all about building the culture, and that's a family first. And that starts with me, making sure that I'm doing all the things right so that the players, have someone to look up to.
I mean, this was a horrible, horrible tragedy, and one that nobody around the hockey community will ever forget. It shook us all really to our core. What do you remember about that time, and where were you when you heard about the news?
I was actually here at home, sitting on the couch and just flipping through Twitter, and I saw it come up on someone's Twitter feed. And the first thing I did, obviously I was in disbelief, but one of my good friends who I grew up with is actually the head coach and general manager in Estevan. So I reached out to him and asked him if he had any information. And, it was all so fresh that he didn't know much either, but I asked him to kind of keep me in the loop, and which he did. But like you said, just a devastating travesty. And it was a tough one for the hockey world.
Nathan, what is the process of building this hockey team? You got to go out and scout and look for players from all over to try and rebuild this group and move it forward.
Yeah, we've had our assistant general manager, Jason Neville, and our head scout, Luke Struby, have done a tremendous job already finding players, making trades even before, my position was filled. So they've had a head start, which is great. We're still looking and reaching out to people and trying to find not only good people, or good hockey players, but more importantly, good people. For us to build the way we want to build, it's about getting the right players in there with the right mindset, and hockey will take care of itself.
And from this tragedy, we've seen so many inspirational moments as well, from the kids on stage during the NHL award ceremony in Vegas just a few short weeks ago, to the message that some of them shared that was so inspiring and moving. And of course, the $15 million raised by people throughout the world who just heard about this story and wanted to do whatever they could to help. I understand a lot of that money has been going toward different scholarships that are in the memory of a lot of the victims. But how have you seen the hockey community really come together through this tragedy?
It's been amazing. I remember the locomotive tragedy a few years back as well, and just watching everyone come together. The hockey world's a very small world, as you all know, and we all look out for each other. So it's been fantastic. The messages I received and the congratulatory texts, everything like that, it's just been fantastic.
And Nathan, the surviving members of this team, have you been able to reach out to them and get their perspective on moving forward?
I've talked to a couple. I actually had the chance to play in a charity hockey tournament here in Denver that all proceeds went to the Humboldt Broncos. And one of the players, Grayson, he was out and he was our team coach. And then the next day on the Monday, I got to actually spend a lot of time with him on the golf course. So There's a couple other players who were in Humboldt during the press conference that I also got to talk to, and they've been great and they've been very supportive.
Well, Nathan, thank you so much for your time. I can't wait to see what you do with this team. I understand the team takes the ice for the first game in September, so even before the NHL starts, and I know it's a short off season, but good luck building up this team and this community.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.